Okay, I want to revisit this little image here. A little nice little Ashlands teaser. I want to take a deeper dive into it because I like these gems. And I also don't like that the Black Forge can't retroactively smelt, not smelt, but process regular forge things. Yeah, not a fan of that. Yeah. I also don't like how the Blast Furnace can't retroactively smelter things. Like, oh no, it needs higher temperature to smelt the black metal. It's okay, but put less put less energy in. Have it at a lower temp. Melt the regular things. You know? Maybe we used blast furnace because it costs iron, expensive iron. Maybe because it processes efficiently with, dragon tier energy as well as regular coal, that it takes half the coal to smelt ordinary stuff. Now, why am I saying this? I like building up and progressing towards efficiency. And I like the idea of efficiency in crafting tables. And I think Iron Gate does too, in a way. And I think we're going to get more of that. Because we have two that aren't really fleshed out right now. And they gotta be fleshed out at some time, right? We have Stonecutter and the Artisan table. Now I look at these weapons. I see stones that could be carved out of rough stones at Stonecutter. I think the actual mining process is going to be fun and better. I look at the Queen power, better mining, better iter regen, but mainly the mining part. I look at the mechanic of copper mining, the worst type of mining, right? But I see the best in it. It's like, okay, well, you're guaranteed to get some stone, but then sometimes you can get something better, the copper. Now, what if we just change the parameters of that for something in the future so that we're guaranteed to get something good for progression in that moment? And then there's also a chance to get something really cool, let's say a nice little gem. So that would make mining the most interesting that it's ever been. I think that's a real possibility. So, Ashlands, I think there's going to be better mining. I think the Stonecutter is going to be fleshed out more. I think that I've overlooked the blades on these. These actually kind of look like they might be made of sharpened obsidian or like a chipped obsidian, you know? These definitely look kind of stone like at the base of them. It's interesting. I don't know what's going on here. So maybe something unique going on there. I know that obsidian, of course, is made when lava gets cooled really quickly. The crystals form quickly. It's very smooth and glass like. It becomes very, very sharp. Very easily sharp. So I think we might actually see obsidian weapons being made at the Stonecutter. I think that's exciting. I think also Artisan table might be used to infuse gems into these weapons. The interesting thing is, are we going to have to make all three? Or is it just going to be one and we can change it out? Is changing it out going to consume the gem? Please no. please, hopefully not. Are there going to be gem based accessories? Maybe we jewel craft at the artisan table. That's art. That's artisanal. You know? Maybe we take some sort of gem, and then, well, my personal idea for a recipe, and I've had this from way back when we had like frost caves. My idea was, okay, you take some sort of gem, you shape it up at the stone cutter, and then you also have a fenring trophy because it's like a little claw, but I mean, not little, but it's gonna be little. You have a claw, you have a gem, specialized gem, And then you also take a silver necklace or 2. Or 3. I don't know. You get plenty of them. And then you craft up this special necklace that takes the Megangurd slot and the Wisp-Blade slot. And it comes with a special ability. And it looks like a silver chain with a small little fenring claw that's grasping a stone. But now I see that stone, and in my mind I'm like, oh well, frost caves, the wolves, maybe it could be customizable. You switch it out. You have like a carved ruby, and that does one thing. But you could switch that out with like maybe they could introduce a moonstone in the frost caves. Wolves, moonstone. Hello, that could be a very solid thing. It seems like we'll be getting somewhat elemental stones, which is interesting. It'd be interesting to see additional damage types that we don't already have, considering we're entering a very magical age. Me personally, I like the idea of wind and water damage. I'm a big fan of that, but I'd be fine. I mean, I'd be fine if we didn't get that and if we just expanded on the other damage types. Please, sometime in the future, make poison stack. I don't care how good it will seem with Grografang plus poison arrow shenanigans in the mid game. I do not care. Okay, it is DOT. That is not as good as raw damage up front, and is not as good as damage up front that can control like frost arrows. It will just make it more balanced. So right now, you lose so much DPS with it not stacking. And the loss of DPS with it not stacking is going to be the same with this Poison Needhog, and it's going to be the same with this Poison Slayer. Because the way that poison is calculated right now, just like the lightning and the fire, is that it takes away from the total damage of the weapon. Let's say Grografang, normally the bow damage progression at quality 4, crude bow quality 4, 31. Huntsman, 41. Not Huntsman, Finewood bow, 41. Huntsman bow is 51. Grografang is like 56 or something like that. It's like it's more DPS up front, which is why I like it. And it's got that 20 poison damage tick over time. But it doesn't stack. So it's constantly resetting itself. It's a huge chunk out of the potential DPS. But also still an increase in stamina cost. So the higher your bow skill is, or the more successful you are hitting targets with the Poison Needhog or the Poison Slayer, the more consecutive hits you get off, right, one after the other, the less good this is going to be. The less poison damage you're going to get. And I think the biggest opportunity you're going to get for a huge poison tick is with the Slayer. Poison Slayer, you go up, you get like a backstab middle mouse. That ×9 modifier is also going to apply to the poison. Here's the thing, it's also going to apply to the fire, and fire does stack. So I know that Ashlands creatures are going to be very resistant to fire, but overall, it seems like the Fire Slayer is going to be the way to go, especially when we progress towards the Deep North. Regarding if they're neutral to lightning, the lightning one's going to be the way to go because of the staggering value. And I don't think a lot of Ashlands enemies are going to be resistant to staggering. So, here's me ranting about this. I think they could introduce additional damage types. Personally, I would really like a sulfur stone, like a sulfuric stone might be the poison one. I don't think it just like, don't give it to these weapons. Like, stop it. Cut that out. Give it something different. Make a poison sledge, the sulfuric slammer, or something silly like that. Sledge, the king of situations, the situational master. It is a situational weapon, but you'll be getting in those situations all the time throughout the game. Love it. Love using these sledge types weapons. You get to a safe area, you got a lot of enemies nearby. Bonk. Okay, it's slow, has a lot of knockback, there's a lot of time, between first attack and the enemy's getting to you, and then the second attack. And that time means ticking damage. Now, what about sulfur? What about that sulfuric stone that I mentioned? That theoretical item. Okay, well, that would be something tough to grab. You would need some really, really good pickaxe, or good pickaxing levels, a strong pickaxe, because it would be a poisonous vent area. The poison would tick away at you. And the whole idea is you're probably going to get smoked out as well. So 2 sources of DOT that you can mitigate, most likely. So you'd want a strong pickaxe, and you would get probably some sort of good ore, or maybe obsidian as you're mining, clanking away at this thing. But with good RNG, you get sulfuric nugget, or sulfuric ore, or something, whatever it might be. I think that would make mining exciting. I think the Stonecutter thing would be exciting. Please poison, make it stack, or make a poison sledge. These weapons are I'm gonna put them. I'm gonna make them. I'm gonna put them on the wall because they look great. But I don't know. I don't know about that. Berserker axes now. Now these things have some real potential. Some huge potential. I'll talk about those in another video. Let me know what you think about the whole series of ideas that I've just kind of scrambled out here. I'm really just excited about stone, utilizing Stonecutter, utilizing Artisan table. Of course, these new weapons. The more I look at it, as much as my neurons activate for the gems, these axes. These axes. I'll do another video on this soon. Alright. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys some other time. Bye.